What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Timeout with Treble, the podcast, man. We back in the building for another week. As y'all already know, man, you know what I'm saying? We keep it coming, keep it pushing, man. Rocking steady. I got my boy, you know what I'm saying? My brother back in the building, man. Y'all have seen him in past episodes on the come up, you know what I'm saying? The old layouts from Timeout with Treble podcast. My boy, Kofi, Manny El Bandito is back in the building, y'all, once again, man.
Spot, what's going on, everyone? What's going on, Treble? It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on the show. As always, thanks for having me. I know I just kicked it with you last week in the A, so it was nice catching up.
Definitely, man.
So I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Without.
Oh yeah, and I think that's important, man. Because I do kind of want to speak on that real quick before we get into it. Especially, I feel like as men, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of women, it's easy to do that, get together, you know what I'm saying, had a little conversations, brunch, all that stuff like that. And I think that's something that I feel like as men, especially, you know what I'm saying, as you begin to grow and mature, that's something to do, with your homeboys and stuff too. Sometimes you got to have them conversations, you got to reconnect, you know what I'm saying, you got to check on each other, all that too. So I do got to say, you know what I'm saying, respect to you for that too, man, because you do reach out, you know what I'm saying, you do check in, see how everything going. We had a good conversation, last week when you was down here too, man, you know what I'm saying, handling business, you know what I mean? That's why they call him Manny El Bandito, you know what I'm saying? A boss out here, right?
Yeah, I had to come in and look at the new shipment came in for Nicaragua. I had to sample the product now. I'm kidding. Most definitely, Trevor. Just the thing is, like, one of the things I always say about my friends that I have now, like with you and like Jimmy and like all my TFS family, is that when you go to boarding school, you don't just have friends, you have brothers, because you don't just leave, in regular school, you go to school, the bell rings at 3:00, you go home, see them the next day. When you boarding school, you live with them. So you really get to know them, their family and everything. So it's a lifetime commitment almost, or like, I feel like I still talk to all the clique and make sure everyone is straight. And obviously y'all inspired me. I inspire y'all. So I really I need that friendship. I need that, fellowship, so to speak. It really helps me just a lot of ways. And sometimes I'll talk to you about something and I'm like, man, I like what you got going on. Like, for example, you're doing well on the podcast. I like seeing that, it inspires me, so now it's always nice to catch up. I wish I hate that I moved away from the A, because I feel like we was doing a lot more of that when I was there.
The podcast for sure.
On the way, I still feel like we got to do more of it. We got to get all of them. Do Shaq, all of them together. Man, we need a whole reunion soon. So we're gonna have to talk about that. But yeah, most definitely, man. It was definitely nice seeing you and catching up. Show.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too, because I think that's important too, man, for people to understand when the dynamic different. Because you're right, in public school or when you go to certain schools, you're right, you there and then you go. But the fact that we had to grow together, you know what I'm saying, eat together, like live in the dorms together, you feel what I'm saying, play sports together too. We was all on the basketball team and all that too. So you right, it mold into some more than just, you know what I mean, like you see people at school and then you out. It's like for that whole 10th grade year that almost seemed like multiple years, you know what I'm saying, in one sitting, we did a lot like in that small window of time. And with everybody being from, you know what I'm saying, different backgrounds, or, you know what I'm saying, different cities, like different upbringings and all that, I felt like it did grow into some, you know what I'm saying, bigger as far as like, you know what I'm saying, a brotherhood, like you said, because that's 10th grade now. And at the age that we at now, you know what I'm saying, from that whole gap of that time frame of people growing, having families, kids, get married, you know what I'm saying, like yourself and all that too, like it just showed like how important that type of dynamic is, you know what I'm saying, going to that type of school, man, and having that experience, because a lot of times, you got memories, but you can't relive it. But the fact that we did, you know what I'm saying, had that type of situation when we was at the boarding school doing that, that's like a chance of a lifetime that I'm pretty sure a lot of kids, even at the age that we now, you know what I'm saying, they never get a chance to experience that. So it's like you gotta value that whole dynamic for what it was, man. And you know what I'm saying, especially with the sports, that's part of the reason, you know what I'm saying, we here tonight on the episode. So all my TFS athletes, all my former athletes, you know what I'm saying, shouts out to all y'all, basketball, soccer, track and field, baseball, the whole nine, man. But to those,
water polo. We didn't do water polo. We
hey,
had
I forgot. Hey, nah, you're right. I forgot.
swimming
I
team.
forgot the cross country team all day. You're right, because we was out there, you know what I'm saying, deep in the mountains. So you're right about. I can't forget about that. But we here today, y'all, for real, because uh, I feel like it's important when you go to any type of school, man. You know what I'm saying, especially as an athlete, when you do something legendary, man. As y'all know, if you don't know, you're sitting right here, right now, with a TFS. You know what I'm saying, legend, soon to be inducted into, you know what I'm saying, the athletics Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying, my boy Kofi, aka Manuel Bendito, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all know, y'all know. I'm gonna get straight into it, man. Track and field, my boy was a beast.
Oh yeah.
100 meters, you know what I'm saying, going to state multiple times, you know what I'm saying, on the national stage, all that. You feel me? Like, you know, I was rocking with my boy on that too, you know what I'm saying? Like little 4x4 pole vault, you know, little stuff. I was on the, you know, I was doing the light stuff, but my boy, you know what I'm saying, was definitely heavy on, you know what I'm saying, one of the biggest races I feel like in track and field, especially in high school, that 100 meter, because you got to be the top of the top, the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be that top dog in that little short amount of distance in that race, man. And I feel like legendary in that. And not only that, on the soccer field too, man. My boy,
You know.
I know at one point you got to confirm it. You know what I'm saying? I know my boy had the most goals, you know what I'm saying, in TFS history. I was there to witness that, you know what I'm saying? The blackout jerseys, the whole nine. If y'all know, then you know my boy was a fool, you know what I'm saying, on that soccer field, man. So, you know, hey, like he's getting inducted, man. What's the date? Let everybody know, man, when you have your ceremony, man, for the inductee.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thanks a lot for the shout out. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. So it's crazy. Like day's actually April 27th. Coach Nail hit me up. Please, Coach Nail Day. Shout out Coach Nail. Coach
Yeah.
Nail really changed my life, changed my outlook and what discipline, as far as the word discipline. But anyway, Coach Neil hit me up and told me about it. Like, man, you're getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I really like when he hit me up that day, it just gave me like a boost. You know how sometimes you're having a day where you just like everything is just like you're lethargic. Like my whole day is just slow. So you get that email.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh man, legend, because high school is great. High school was think about high school that other than just having friends is memories, right? And I'm married now. I told my wife about a lot of the memories. Sometimes I would just watch TV and I'll think of something like, man, I remember when we did this. And so it just brought back a lot of good memories. I remember I was going through my pics, I was sending it to my family, so it was pretty dope. But yeah, man, it's definitely is happening. I'm excited about it. Hopefully, definitely, I know you're gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try to get.
Oh no, I'm gonna be there for sure, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be
try to talk.
I got some real quick,
folks.
Real quick. Hold on, real quick.
Oh, what's she finna do, man? What you about to do right now? Yeah.
I was able to find something, man. I was able to find something, you know what I'm saying? And I
What
had
you
to
got?
wait until you got on this episode to do it, man. If you know, you know. This is for everybody right here, man.
I don't know my yearbooks are, man. I think I don't know where they are, man, because I have some good content in that, all the photos and stuff. I gotta find the yearbooks, man. I believe they might be in my brother's house, but all my trophies and all that, my medals and all of that stuff. You got the
Got it
TF
right here, man. Got it. Yeah, the TFS directory. If you know, then you know, man. From every grade that was in here, you feel what I'm saying? The original crew. Shouts out to the original crew too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, we did have our little tables, our little sections. You know what I'm saying? Me, Kofi, Austin, Abdul, Russell,
Shout out Dooley.
Stephen Adebayo. Stephen Adebayo was there too, right? Tariq, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we had our little crew, you know what I'm saying, the athletes at TFS. So shouts out to all of y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to get together with that original, you know what I'm saying, 10th grade crew too as well. But hey, like I was saying, shouts out to Kofi, man. And one thing I do got to say, you know what I'm saying, you could be an athlete, but at the same time, like when you do legendary stuff to that degree, it's important, man. Because when we talking about of all time, or you know what I'm saying, at the school, especially, you got to remember from when TFS first started up to this point, like to have the most goals scored, man. And soccer, I know because I played myself when I went back, you know what I'm saying? I had to go back to as well, man. It's one of the most challenging sports I feel like to play, not alone. You know what I'm saying? A lot different than basketball, but to be able to move your feet to that degree, get up the field, and not only that, to be able to score that many goals, man, it's legendary. So if anybody that knows about soccer within itself too, man, you got to be skilled. You know what I'm saying? You got to be dominant. You got to have certain skill sets with your feet. You know what I'm saying? You got to be witty and all that. And, you know, my boy, like, I mean, if you know, man. If you know about TFS soccer, then you know about, you know what I'm saying, Manny El Bendito for sure, man. So I did want to ask you, like, how did it feel, you know, when you was at TFS playing soccer and like to the degree like them relying on you as being like one of the main guys on the team, especially like offensively? And like how did it feel, you know what I'm saying? You scoring the goals, not only scoring the goals, but you know what I'm saying, at the point when you broke the record. And not only that, but like, you know, being a staple pretty much at this point, like for TFS soccer overall.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for that question, man. So, you know, funny thing is when I came to TFS, right, I was at Brockton High, shout out Brockton High, and I played soccer, right? But I was, you know, I played in the back. I was more so like I didn't play midfield like I did in TFS. So,
okay,
you know, when you play midfield, you don't really get to like, you know, you stop the goals really. You know, when you play in the back end, you play midfield. Obviously, you're striker, you attack, you get to score. So it's almost kind of like in basketball terms when you play defense, it's like you don't really. It's not really like flashy, right? You got to be.
I know what you mean. When you're a straight defender, yeah.
You know, I wanted to be that nigga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so when I came, when I went to school in Brockton High, you know, I played soccer and it was just like it was cool. I watch all the kids score goals and all that. I'm like, man, like this is cool, but I'm glad we were winning. But I want to score goals too. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I was.
You're right.
But I joined that team late, so you know, whatever. So when I finally came and I got the opportunity to play and actually be able to like be a forward and actually help score the goals, it felt good. You know, it really felt good because I felt like, you know, growing up, we played soccer, right? Obviously, I grew up in an African household and everything. Everybody in Africa, soccer is the number one called football, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously there's other sports, but like you really like you grew up with it. We watched the games, we played before we even touched any other sport. So, you know, it felt good. And you always felt like you're good, but you don't really know until you actually play against like good competition. And when I went to Brockton High, Brockton High has some good players. Like I remember we had this kid who's like, I think he might have went to the MLS. Like he was good. He was on my team.
Oh man. Okay.
And I used to go against him, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I think he's better than me, but like I feel like I held my own. So I just wanted an opportunity. And when I came, it would just felt good, man. Those were probably the best, like. And we know what the crazy thing about too is when you play soccer or when you play any sport in public school, we talked about it earlier. Obviously, you go to the games, you take the bus. Afterwards, you go home, right? But it goes back
you're right.
the boarding school family, like, right? We'll go to the game. You know, we'll get $10 for dinner, right?
I remember that.
Get food. So like, it's not just the game. The games were cool. It was just like the aftermath as well. Just being on the ride and on the bus. We used to go out there. Like, remember we used to go to like Highlands in North Carolina? We'd be on the bus just acting. So it was all that, you know what I mean? You don't really get a lot of that. At the end of the day, you go home. You go to boarding school. At the end of the day, you're going to literally get back on campus and go home and have study hall and all that type of stuff. So like it was
you had to experience it together. Wins or losses, we had to go through the full experience together. So if it was a tough game, then we had to take them, you know, say an hour or so, rise back. How we felt about the game, you right, go back, still go to study hall, still go back to school the next day, then go to practice, all that. It was like you was living it. I know exactly what you mean. You was living it fully together. It was literally a whole experience, you know what I'm saying? Like how they do with professional teams. Like we wasn't just going home after that. Like we was literally, so if we won and we were celebrating, you're right, with them food vouchers. I remember we used to get the little boxes of pizza. Remember sometimes we used to get that our own little personal pizza. I remember that, man. Like that was dope.
We had $10. We thought we were rich as hell, man. We would say I want my trip on the weekends. Like, yo, I'm gonna spend I'm gonna go to the dollar menu. I got I'm gonna spend only 5, so I'm gonna keep 5 because especially when we had 2 games in a
Yeah.
week, because I was 20.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time,
$20 back in the day, back
time
in
you spend it,
2007 was a lot of money. You know?
yeah. I ain't even think about that till you're right. We did had the Walmart trip, so it was a plus. If you was an athlete, you know what I'm saying, that was already a plus because on the road games for sure every time we was gonna be able to eat, and sometimes remember even too, because I was on the track and field team too. Remember sometimes too we used to go to the buffets and stuff. I know you
Yeah.
remember that.
No, I remember
Yeah,
that.
you know what I'm saying? No, that's back when they had Ryans and all that. I know they ain't got Ryans no more, but Ryans go to corral, you know what I'm saying? Going there real quick. Everybody get either the pre-meal or the post-meal sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Get your little go to corral, 4, 5, 6 plates, whatever. Like it was a whole experience, like you said, man. And the road trips was really road trips because yourself, when we was playing certain teams too, even to a degree, like some of them road trips are kind of far, man. We was already in the Georgia mountains. We going to North Carolina, South
Right.
Carolina, sometimes like all over. Like it took a while, a lot of times, man, like to get to a lot of the schools that we was playing for sure, man.
Nah, definitely, man. And I kind of couldn't add to that. I think one thing that made it fun too was, like, and when you obviously you play the game, so you gotta work out, right? And so
Yeah,
remember we
yeah.
had weightlifting class first period, right?
Definitely, I remember that.
That was cool because in a way I realized that now, even like being an adult, like that was so helpful to us because after school, you're not trying to lift weights after school or anything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah. You're
got
right.
it
Yeah.
in early in the morning, we got to work out right after. We used to just run like Coach Hall. Shout out Coach Hall, wherever he is. I don't know, whatever he got into, man. I heard some crazy stuff about him, but Coach O, Coach O, you gotta stop tripping, man. You like the young girls. Man. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but shout out Coach O.
Yeah.
We ain't get along, but
Oh man, yeah. Now I remember, yeah. Coach Hall definitely was, yeah. He was that soccer coach for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely in that skill set. But I agree with you too when you talking about the weightlifting, because really, even aside from the weightlifting, the structure period. I
right,
think us being athletes, you know what I'm saying, when we was at TFS, that was a big thing. You had the work program. Remember, we had that morning or the afternoon. You had to lift weights. You had to go to mandatory study hall, especially if you was an athlete too, to be able to be cleared, like to play the games and stuff. Then we practice like, multiple times in a week too. Like everything was already pre-scheduled. You feel what I'm saying? You
right,
get out, final bell ring. You might got a little time to get ready, whatever. Then you got to go to practice from this time to this time. Eat, you know what I'm saying? Go to study hall. If we had away games, you already know how that setup used to be too. Sometimes we got to leave early, or like it's already mapped out for us. Remember, you used to have to meet over there by the weight room. Like the buses would be ready to take everybody load up, like to go on the little road trips and all that. Like it was dope, man. And the one part I would say, like to your point too, when you said like it was more like a brotherhood too, because we did a lot of stuff like together. And I know you remember them infamous nights, man, at the Stone Center, man. Like when we really was at the Stone Center, that was the vibe, man. The little concession stand they had, the movie room, the
room.
pool hall, all of that. You
Yeah,
said what?
yeah. I said the movie room. We watch movies in
Yeah, yeah.
there. Everybody in the movie though, with a girl. If he had a girl, you didn't want to go.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It was a
You don't
vibe. You're
go in
right.
there
You're
by
right.
yourself because you're gonna see things like, man, cool. It's like the lovers lounge. Like, why am
Hey,
I in here
nah,
by
that was
myself?
fact. That
You gotta
was
grab me
facts,
and
man.
go,
That was facts, man. That was
Nah,
facts.
for
That's
real.
what I'm saying.
I think it's key because I think one thing that I'm glad you said that word structure, man. I didn't have that until
Yeah.
I went to boarding school, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it really carried over when I actually went to college because people don't realize, a lot of people don't know, like, when you live at home, most people, you kind of have things done for you. Like you probably never lived by yourself. So
That's
you
true.
notice
That's true.
that when you first go to college, like people come in and it's like, oh, you could tell this person don't really, they've been cuddled their whole life. They just
Yeah.
know how to, and you can tell people that are like, had jobs before and things like that. And so when I first came, it was like, when I played in a public school, we'll go to practice. I think we had practice Tuesdays and Thursdays. People will get there late. Our games are usually like Fridays. Sometimes we had a game on Saturdays, and it was like because everybody just came from somewhere, it was like you did what you did, right? It was like sometimes they'll give us like workouts to do on the weekends, or we wouldn't go. But you go to boarding school, everything is structured, everything is planned for you. So it's like you got weightlifting. And so you don't even realize it because it's fun because you're doing it with your boys. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, whatever. I'm having fun lifting weights. I can't even whatever. Like on the field, it shows. Like, man, like please coach New Day, for example.
I remember that. Hey, because I had to do it twice, man. Because I remember.
On that hill,
I remember,
somebody on that hill.
Yes.
Please coach New Day is basically CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like you don't
push
realize
the truck at the end, bro. Remember the truck on neutral. Put the truck on neutral at the end. And as a team, push the truck all the way up the hill, man. Hey.
So that had us right. Like I was saying, like we were right. Like when we went out there and played, like we were prepared, but we didn't even in our mind we thought like, man, why we gotta do this? But I'm like, you get on the field and it's like, okay, man, I feel good. I could run all day. We used to remember Coach Hall would get mad at us, like, yo, run laps, and we would run lap like for a whole hour. We're just running. Soccer is you got to run. Soccer is just running. So you run more miles in soccer than any other sport. Like you running the whole time, so you got to be in tip top shape. And so like that structure helped. I'm not saying like you can't have the same success in public school, but it's a lot of distractions over there. We lived in the woods. It was nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Nah, you're right. That structure was way different because you went in the city. Like we went at one of them schools to where, say you was at a boarding school or something, but you was right there downtown. We was already in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Everything was equipped there, but it was full structure. You're right. Like if you're going to be an athlete here, a student athlete here, they're going to make sure fully, you know what I'm saying, like they did, that you're a full student athlete. Like everything was structured. Because remember, like I was telling you, even though I was joking about that, because a lot of people didn't like that too, man, when we had the work program. So even if you didn't want to get up or do certain stuff in the morning, they made your ass to get up. Like if you had a work program, either in the kitchen, in the dorms, you know what I'm saying, out there at the student center or whatever, you had to, you know what I'm saying, do your little role. Everybody had a role that they had to do, like at the school, guaranteed. Like you had to do something. You remember the kitchen, though? Did you ever have to work in the kitchen?
The work program. I just thought about that. I used to hate that. Got to wake up early, especially when it was your week. You gotta wake up early and go help Miss Gracie bake them cookies.
Yeah.
I used to hate that. But you know what's crazy about that though?
Yeah.
When I went to college, right? I used to have a lot of morning classes because my thing was, okay, you know what? I want to be done early so I can just have fun. And then it got to a point where I was like, oh, actually, I want to be done early so I can get a part-time job. And so I noticed that most people weren't doing that. And I think it helped that I had that idea of waking up early. You got to be up at like 5 for that. You got to go and then come back
early. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So that really helped. I used to hate that, but it was actually really fun now that I think about it, man. You go in there, you knew when we got in there, you knew what we were having for breakfast. So you knew it was good and you go back. If we were having like chicken biscuits, I'm like, oh, I gotta go back. If it was bad, I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm gonna sleep a little bit, go back home, shower, go back to the dorm, and then just go right to weightlifting. But if you knew when we had chicken biscuits, man.
Oh yeah, that was the vibe. I already know, yeah.
Man,
and them
ready.
The little sugar cookies. I forgot like the type of cookies Miss Gracie used to make. I know exactly what you're talking about. The chicken biscuit we were saying. The sugar cookies. I didn't like the dish pit though. I remember that sometimes. I remember when folks was coming in some mornings and like when folks were dropping their trays off, like one person had to work the little dish pit until all the dishes were done before you went. Man, I ain't never liked that one, like for sure. But you remember too, man, because a lot of people don't like. I had talked about this without doing before, but remember we used to that year that we was there, we had hoop together too, man. You know what I'm saying? You remember the first basketball experience? Yeah,
baby, I was fast. I was on there, man. I was passing.
Hey, you were still getting buckets though. You know what I'm saying? You were still fast though. You gotta remember, man.
I was out there, but do you know what's crazy about that too? Like that year, that was probably like the top because that's the year, I was doing track. And it was my second year doing track, right?
Yeah.
So we were good because we had a good, basketball team. Bobby and them came, so we were good. That whole year was just like crazy because it went from you start off, you do like soccer, right? You do soccer or track, you ran that, and then the fall was basketball, and it it was so good because we were good at everything. So you played. It was almost like you wanted to play a sport so you can like experience.
Yeah, because everything pieced together the way like it was almost like one of the elite prep schools or like get to that point. Every sport, you're right, from the tennis, the track and field, the basketball,
yeah,
the
baseball.
soccer, baseball was good too. That's what I'm saying. Everybody to a degree, cross country, like you wanted to do something like to your point too, because like it was almost like, you know what I'm saying, you was looked at a certain type of way too, like for being a student athlete and like everybody, because we lived together. So everybody knew you if you was the basketball star or the soccer star, you know what I'm saying, a track and field. And you're right, with track and field, it was mixed up. Remember, track and field had a lot of different, like that was the one where all of us came together. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was on tennis, you was swimming, whether you was baseball, when track and field came at that time with Coach Ned, all the other sports, like, and we had all combined together. Right. And I feel like that was probably the dopest one too, to your point, because like it was a whole melting pot. So like to see different people, like you had Kareem, you had Shamir. Remember, you had like so many folks, man. You had Devin Prooch Nickety, broke my pole vault.
Yo, you gotta tell him about the pole vault, man. He was nice in that, man.
Hey, I gotta say this for real. I gotta say this, bro. I was scared as hell doing that, man. I remember the whole time when Coach Neal like kept trying to convince me to do that for a while, and I was like, I'm cool. I'd rather just run, do the little high jump stuff, you know what I'm saying, at the time, because you know it was something new to me. You know how like you used to a sport, but you couldn't like excel like that because I was mainly like a basketball player. You already knew that coming in, so I had to try it. And I ain't gonna lie, like for a while, bro, until the end, I feel like of that season, I was scared to do that every time. I'm talking about in practice, the way you're supposed to bend it. I think you're supposed to like jump back, you know what I'm saying, bend your back like a jump over. I never did it right, y'all. To this day, you feel what I'm saying? I might have put the stick in, jump forward, and just try to clear the thing. Like to the point where if y'all know Devin Prooch Nickety, hey, shouts out to you out there too, man. I think he got the record or whatever for pole vault now because he learned how to do it. But I was scared as hell doing that. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man.
Nah, it looks scary, man. Like, his body got to bend a certain way. Even like high jump. I know Abdul did. You did high jump?
Yeah. Abdul was way better than because at the time when I did it, I didn't do that was another thing I meant to tell you too, because when I went back, that's when I got heavy on applied metrics and all that. Like that little weight stuff, you know, Coach Neal got me on that because after that I went, you know, I played in college, like basketball in college and stuff. So the first time I wasn't, but Coach Neal still trained us good. Abdul was real good at that. Remember, you had Kareem and Shamir that was good with the shot put, you know what I'm saying, the field stuff. I feel like it was an elite team, like you said, though, man. You know, the 4x4s and the 800s and all that was still cool too. But I gotta agree with you on that too. The best training I probably ever had before I went to college, because I went to other high schools too. Because remember, after 10th grade, you know, I went to prep and all that, went to Florida and stuff. I gotta say, Coach Neal was probably one of the best coaches I done had, like period, like in any type of athletic career, because not only was it discipline with him, it was skill set. You know what I'm saying? It was I don't want to say perfection. It helped me with the word a little bit. Like he wanted to make sure that you excelled in whatever you was doing, you know what I'm saying, on the field, like that you did it right. Because you remember, because I wanted to see if you remember this too. Remember, please, Coach Neal Day, before we got to the last part, whatever your main event was, what was it? Like you had to do it like 9 or 10 times, like best record.
Yeah, you're like
you remember that? Your
PR,
best time?
PR in that, yeah. PR.
Yeah.
No, I agree, man. Coach
and like he knew.
Yeah. Coach Neal was definitely one of the best coaches I've ever had too. And I think what I like about Coach Neal was he always knew how to push you, but he also knew how to have fun, right? So like we'll have fun. He would invite us over to his place, a barbecue or whatever, and then like when it was time to like go, he was like, sometimes he would look at me like, I'm like, man, we just eating burgers. like, coach, you know, you gave me a burger, I can't go hard, but he really like. I remember like, you know, my first year I ran track, you know, I was okay. I didn't really know what I was doing, and then like when he realized that okay, I had the potential, like, you know, he wanted me to break the record. I was like, second year, my training was different. Like my training was different than everybody else.
I remember,
I can break, you know, I can go to state. And we were like out there, like I remember we had a track meet in Tennessee. It was just me and him. You know, just me and him, because we, because I was a star, I'm sorry, not to my own horn.
You were? That's what I said. Yeah, definitely. 100 meter goat, man, for real. Yeah.
We went to we drove over there. We actually we ended up camping outside that day. That was the first time I've been camping, and it was scary.
Oh wow, yeah.
So on our way there, we were like, okay, we that whole week, I think it was a Thursday. That whole week we were just training, and like a lot of the stuff he was doing, I didn't realize it until we got there was mental, right? Because I was going to be by myself. So like, I'm used to going to track meets with everybody, the whole team.
Exactly. We all right. Yeah.
I think actually it was me and Mo. I think it was me and Mo that went there.
Mo was fine too. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So we get there, and I'm like, oh, I see why he was pushing me this week, because it was a huge track meet, like huge. And part of it was like, you get there and it's like, oh, I'm by myself. It's just me and Mo. And the training was really just like to be able to like lock in, because it's nerve-wracking. You don't have the team. If you have the team, you're used to your routine. We'll get together, we'll huddle or whatever, warm up together. But now it was like me and Mo, and it's like, oh shit, like I gotta run. It's just literally me and her. And so I remember I got there and I ran pretty well, because it was like that whole week, all the training that we did just got me focused. I was able to just lock in and like get out there. And it kind of it sucked, because it was a lot, when we had track meets, the team will come watch us. Like the students will come watch us.
You're right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He was away, they'll have a bus. But it was kind of like, man, it was just us, One was doing her thing over there where the girls are, I'm over there. And it's like, but that really, like, I realized that, I'm like, man, like a lot of it is mental, man. A lot of training is mental. Training is really a lot of physical stuff. Yeah, you got to push yourself, but you got to almost train your mind to say, look, I'm tired as hell, but like that's what's gonna happen in the real world if I'm running, or like I'm about to run and like something happens. I got to train myself to be able to do it, because we used to run the 1 and then the 2, and so if you run the 1 and you messed up,
I remember y'all did both. Yeah.
You still got to run the 2.
Yeah.
If you run the 1 and you get out and you start to be down on yourself, that's going to impact the next race that you got coming up. So like when we went to regions, I remember like, I ran well in the 1, but I got out the blocks late and I felt bad for myself. I remember I'm like, damn. And then he was like, yo, get up, stop it. Like, you got another race to go. And so I went, and that's when I broke the record in the 2, because I was so mad, but like he was able to get me to like flip that switch, and then boom. And then after that, because I ran well in the 2, we had the 4x1. I don't know if you remember that 4x1. We won regions.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was.
I remember you on the track and field. Well, yeah.
Man, I was hawking the niggas. Like I came back because it was really mental. It was like, don't let the one event impact the next event. Like, and it's really like life. Right. Okay, life goes on. Like I ran this, I'm trash at it, but I got 2 more events coming up. I got high jump. I got long jump. If I feel bad with myself for the first event, it's gonna impact my whole day.
Throw the whole thing off. You're right. Yeah.
It was like quick memory. Like it didn't happen. It happened. I sucked. Whatever. I got 4 more to go. Boom. Because then broke the record. Side is once I do well in that, now I feel good. I have momentum. I can carry that into the next event. So. Now, Coach definitely taught me that. And I think that's something where, like, even as you get older in life, you realize, like, you have bad days, man, but there's more days coming up, You have bad mornings. My morning is bad.
You're right. You're right.
I got a whole day left. What am I going to do, So now
I gotta say that makes sense, too, because you know what? I remember, because I did it twice. And I know you did it more times than that, but I remember because when that time to the Please Coach Neil day, because I remember when I first did it, I was like, bro, like this man can't be for real that he making us do all this. But when it come down to it, you're right, it was a mental thing, because even when I came back, like for that half a year, like when I left from there, you know what I'm saying, I went to hooping college and all that, like he was still like training and stuff with me too then, and I realized that it was mental, especially to your point too, when you go to the next level. Because a lot of us that was college athletes or did anything in college too, it was almost like, and I got to give him 100% credit for this, like you was prepping us already for what was to come. Because once I got to college and I was swooping in, man, we was getting up 4 something in the morning to run, period, just to run for condition. It ain't have nothing to do with playing anything, you know what I'm saying? The regiment was there, 4 o'clock in the morning, run, by 6, lift weights, go back to the dorm, you know what I'm saying? Take a shower, get ready to go to class and all that. You had breaks in between. Like we had a certain time we had to eat lunch. After that, shoot around, lift weights again in the afternoon. And like it caused you to push yourself to the limit. And to your point, I feel like Coach Neal did good at that because a lot of people can be athletes but don't go, you know what I'm saying, that but don't take it to the next level because like you doing whatever your skill set is, and then you just do that. But you know what I'm saying, you just give that small amount of effort. Like, okay, if I'm a good shooter, I'm just gonna do that. If I'm a good runner, I'm a run. And if I fall off, I scale back, it's cool. It's like he ain't never allow us to do that. It's like if you good in this area when we was training, I'm gonna make sure that you stay good. So by the first race, you know what I'm saying, you killed it. But even if you got to race 3, 4, 5 more times within that same meet, I'm gonna make sure, like to your point too, on the fifth one. And that's why you was able to do stuff like break the record like that too, because it was just a different mindset overall. Dog. I feel like a lot of us that did other things, you know what I'm saying, after TFS, like from a mental standpoint, it had a lot to do with that. Because you know, a lot of them went off the track and field, basketball, like a few of us too. You know what I'm saying? Soccer, a lot of them play college soccer and all that too that I know of. And I felt like it just helped us like to the next level. Because even before I went to college, I know I was there the 10th grade year, whatever. It was like I did a little plyometric stuff with Coach Neal and got right. I'm talking about after that, like I was jumping through like out the gym, man. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know we used to joke about that. You know what I'm saying?
I remember your vert went out, man. You was out there like, I was like, I see you, man. Getting that. Yeah, niggas, man. Now I remember that. You know, that's another thing too. You know, obviously, like jumping, for example. Like I remember, like because a lot of it too. Sometimes is harder to gauge the results, right? Because you're thinking, okay, cool. What am I doing this for? Like, what am I doing this? And then like you realize, like, man, I'm touching the rim. Okay, I'm jumping higher. And then when you start to see that, you're like, okay, because with track, people don't realize track is you can have the speed. That's one thing. That's great. I can run fast, but there's different phases. You got to be able to get out the blocks fast. That's probably the main
right. Yep.
Because when I started, I'm like, I couldn't beat anybody, but I'm like, if I can't get out the blocks fast, I'm already losing like a half a second right there. So I'll go to a race. I'm faster than this guy, but because he can get out the blocks faster, boom. I'm always
a split second lead. That split second, like when he traveled.
And even how to finish, you got to know how to lean. It's like little things that we don't realize. So people just think, oh, I run fast. No, it's like, nah, get out the blocks fast. Your form got to be right. That's why, like athletes, when you're on track, they always tell you like you got to have a good core.
You're right. Yeah.
Because you be thinking like, man, I'm whatever, man. I don't need no abs.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
You notice when you get abs, when you're running, it's like you feel it different. So it was little things that he may have said back then, but you didn't think about it like that. Like, man, I'm faster than whatever.
But technique matter though. Like you're right when you said the technique, bro, because it was right. Because even with you and track, like how you were saying too, because you was faster, like the fastest one at the school, but like you was going up in them races too, especially in regionals with guys almost just as fast. But your technique, you're right, was what did it. Because if it's Kofi right here and what we had like Commerce, Athens Academy, Athens Christians, like all these other schools, I remember the school too, man, Social Circle, all that Lakeview, you know what I'm saying? I remember them. but if y'all all at the same pace, but then your technique better, that's how you squeezed it out. Because I remember them 100-meter races and them 200s, but it was close a lot of the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even when you was edging people out winning the race, it's almost like, to your point, if you did come off the block right and you ain't finish right, it's almost like maybe 2 seconds somebody else would have been behind you right there. No, and that's important for people to know that. Yeah.
No, it's huge. It's huge. Like it really, people don't realize, even like the Olympics and stuff. Like, and that's what's crazy about like, Usain Bolt, because he was like, he was, I still feel like the world record that he got, he doesn't come out the blocks fast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just fast. And then if you notice, anytime he runs, he slows down at the end.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. It's almost like he can scale back a little bit and still pull it off.
Kind of like said, boom, I'm gonna just come out. He can probably like, I think the world record is like 9.6 something. Like I used to watch that because obviously I'm like, wow, he's really like fast, because whatever he's running around, if he actually came out the block fast and finished strong without like stopping, the time would be crazy, But Coach Neal, man, shout out. Now I'm gonna tell him this when I see him too.
Shout out to Coach Neal, guaranteed, bro.
Coach Neal, he definitely got me right. He used to give me workouts in the summer. Of course, I didn't do them.
that little packet he had. I remember that.
Yeah,
packet,
one time me and Ada, we did it. We was out in College Park, where I used to live. We used to run this road. I actually did it, and it's funny. When I did do it, when I came back, I noticed it different. It was like when I came back to school, it was like, okay, I felt it. Because you go home for a weekend, it's like it's nothing. But you gotta an athlete is
the whole
routine.
summer.
Whatever you do, the food you eat, if you skip a beat, you feel the difference. Like, damn. And I feel it now. My wife and I, we talk about it. I don't go to the gym for a week. I go back. I can't lift the 25 dumbbell. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
I know exactly what you mean.
I was out here pulling these motherfuckers. I got back. I'm like, damn, I'm having a hard time because it's all like it's all your rhythm,
That thing make a difference.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. Definitely Coach Neil. I can't wait to see him, man. And then one thing I did want to point out though is so I hope I got the record for the most goals in a season, 23. But I just like somebody broke it, man. Max Harris, his name is, man. So shout out Max Harris, man. You broke my record. I'm pissed off. But
hold on, how many more did he got ahead of you?
Nah,
was it like 24. Slightly ahead?
Yeah,
he's just one more.
Yeah, so I got the most in the most all time 33. But as far as in the season, because I got the most, I had the most all time in the season. You know what I mean?
You the GOAT, man.
23. That stood for a while, and I had the most all time, which is 33. So like Max Harris, man, he got 24 on me, man.
Hey, was he like I'm guessing too, like from what you're saying, is he like the newer generation? I guess like the new era.
Yeah. He was there 2 years ago. Yeah, this is very recent. So I noticed it because I was looking up stuff from Coach Neil, and I'm like, oh, okay, he just broke it like 2 years ago, and he went to Truett too. I think he's pretty good also because he went to Truett. And then he played in like something like that. So yeah, Max Harris, man. Shout out Max Harris, man.
Oh yeah, shout out to him, man. Definitely, man. Like that's major. I mean, to be in the books, period. Like you said, man. To be in them books, like the history books, like all time elite athletes, like you can't beat that, man. So you're right. 33 goals. Come on, man. I only know of maybe a few other players, not they got 33, but like there was consistent scores. I know you remember Yellica, they used to be with us.
Yellica
had a good amount of goals on there too, man. I can't remember, he was Korean too with the glasses. You probably remember too from our class too, because I think he was on.
Was it
Brian too?
Brian
O? Yeah. That's who it was. That's who
Yeah,
that's why I was trying to remember. Brian O. Yeah, too. That was a score. You're right. I mean, you was killing all along, but I'm just saying, I remember like, that 3-4 way.
Yeah. When I figured it out, I knew. And shout out my man Jimmy, man. Jimmy gave me a lot of them passes too, man. Jimmy.
Come on, man. Jimmy said he for sure.
I'm gonna run this way. I'm gonna beat this guy, man, because there's no way he can beat me. And once I got in our box, it was a wrap. When I got in our box, it was a goal. And
you had the skill goals too, like not the little basic.
Yeah, man.
Like you had some fly, like goals for sure, man.
Nah, but you dig this though. When you play forward, right, it's speed, right? You got to be able to move the ball, but you got to give credit to your strikers too, because with soccer with offsides, I can't obviously get there before the ball get there, so I got to time it. So if I time it and I get there, then it's like me and you, we got to tussle for the ball. Who you gonna get it first? And then obviously you got to score the ball when you get in the box, So it's the skill is just knowing that I'll hustle my man, but also not to get off. I can't just run straight to the, because then I'm gonna be offside all the time. So it took me a while to figure that out. But once I figured it out, I kind of knew how we were playing and some of the teams we were playing. But no, it was good. It was good. I definitely track and field. I always have a regret that I should have played in college because I wanted to
Olympics, man.
I don't know if I would have got there, but my knee, soccer I wouldn't have, but I think track and field definitely. I think I had enough speed where I got a partial scholarship in Florida Southern.
Yeah,
and I was thinking at the time, like, I'm not trying to, when I got into Drexel, I'm like, that's better for me. But I felt
like what you mean, yeah.
I could have did something with it. I'm not saying I would have made the Olympics, but I feel like my time and like where I was, my trajectory and all that, I would have had a better shot because I was running like 10-9.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You was fast as hell at it. That's what I'm saying.
So
legit,
without like really good form. So if I go to college and I work on that, I can get in like the 10s, 10-7, 10-6s, and that's like Olympic qualifier right there. You know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows?
That's funny because I think the same thing too, bro. like I stayed for that 1 year with y'all. I went off, you know what I'm saying, like went to prep but started hooping and all that. But I felt like if I would have stayed, because I mean I still, did pretty good, but like if I would have stayed just for the experience more so, I probably shouldn't have left as quick as I did. Because I did have to come back for that like little half a
Right.
semester or whatever before I left. But I felt like that crew that we had and that whole dynamic and the fact that a lot of y'all stayed there, like, you know what I'm saying, for the next couple of years, that's the only regret I will say. Like, I should have just stayed, bro. Like a lot of the stuff would have got better, you know what I'm saying, with the basketball and all that too, with just like the experience. Cause after that, I jumped around to like 3, 4 different high schools. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I was hooping a lot more, got better and stuff, but like the experience, it was like a complete drop off. Cause like you said, when you go to public school and then I went all the way to Florida, like I was away from home and all that too.
Right.
It's like I missed out on that dynamic with y'all, like, you know what I'm saying, like of like multiple years together. Like when you go to college, you know what I'm saying, for 4 years and you got teammates or whatever the case may be. Like that's the one thing I'm like, damn, I should have just stayed like from 10th, you know what I'm saying, all the way through and just like,
Seeing what would have happened.
yeah, seeing what would have happened. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know from basketball to a degree. I mean, we know shouts out to, you know what I'm saying, my boy Abdul. I mean, he was holding
Really?
it down. Yeah,
Now, but
Dooley Trump, man.
one thing I'm in the same boat too. I kind of regret because I didn't do my senior year. I did high school in 3 years, right?
Okay,
And
yeah,
so
I remember that. Yeah.
when I came in sophomore year TFS. I started playing soccer, doing track, and then the senior year I realized that I had enough credits to graduate. All I had to do was take a few classes in summer school. But I wonder what would have happened if I just stayed put and actually just came.
Just did it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I came back that senior year, I think my whole life would have changed because I would have definitely got a scholarship to some good school. Because where I was, based on where I was, how I was training. But TFS is expensive, man.
Oh yeah, bro. I know. That was, I know I could have afforded it.
Yeah, I had a partial scholarship, man. So
the
way it was set up, I was paying half of my fee. So it was like, am I gonna pay what was it? I think it was like I was paying like $5,000. I was working summertime to do that, or was I just gonna say I can finish literally? I can
that's true. You're right.
keep my $5,000 and go to college. So that's kind of what I did. But my goal initially was I was definitely gonna run track. But then when I went to Drexel, they didn't have a track team, and then I went to Drexel more for academics and like they have like an internship co-op program and everything. But sometimes I just look back. Maybe who knows? Maybe I would have been somebody, man.
Now I thought about that too, man, because I like even just jokes, man, because I remember like Abdul stayed, you know what I'm saying, even when it came to the basketball and stuff, like, was basically elite at that point. Like he won the national championship, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Abdul on that too. Like it was just, you're right. A lot of us like kind of came and went to a degree. We didn't kind of finish all the way through to like see how a lot of stuff would have turned out. But you're right, man. And for the experience of like what the school had overall, I wouldn't have mind. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have mind to like finish all the way through because like it was just, I feel like that's an experience that, you know what I'm saying, like it's a once in a lifetime thing for the dynamic that it was. And then it was fun. It ain't like I was joking too, before like the whole Harry Potter thing, or like we were stowed off when we first went there, because a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, especially if you came from the hood or the urban community, or you came from the inner city, like you ain't know nothing about boarding school like at all. Like the fact that we went there, we finna walk back to the dorm and sleep here at the school, and you know what I'm saying, go to a dining hall and got chapel and all that. I was like,
yo, dude, let me tell you a funny story. I told my wife.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
First time I'm coming to TFS, right? Yeah. Remember Mr. Franklin? You guys, boys. Mr. Franklin.
That lamb, bro. That lamb.
He picked me up. And so, my first time, I come out from coming straight from New York. I get to the airport or whatever. I take the shuttle to like what was it? Indian Trail. Remember Indian Trail?
I remember that. Their bus right there. Indian Trail. But
so, I'm going through. I'm on 75. I'm like, oh, this Atlanta. Okay, cool. It's dope. I'm seeing like everything. Because I'm thinking like, even though it's TFS, I'm thinking it's Atlanta. You know what I mean?
We're in downtown.
So I get to Indian Trail. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I'm seeing everybody. So he picks me up. I get out there. He's like, yeah. I'm taking you. My name is Jimmy Franklin. Oh, you're gonna like this. It's like he got that. He was like, oh, What's up, man? You're gonna like it. It's a great school, a great school. Anyway, so he picked me up. So we start going towards Gwinnett County. We passed, Gainesville. I start seeing trees. I'm like, damn, this is not what I'm expecting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I like the way we was before. So we get back, we get through all that, get to like Havisham County or whatever. I'm like, yo, it's straight trees. It's like nothing.
That far.
It's like nighttime too. So I'm thinking like, yo, I think he might not be the guy. He might, I don't know where he's taking me, man.
Yeah.
So I finally get there and I'm like, oh, ain't no way I'm gonna like this school. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, this is like the military camp or boot camp, some shit. Like, ain't
like the look. I know what you mean.
They got me on some, So I get there, I pull up. First person I see is Kareem and Chuka.
Yeah, I remember.
And I see a whole bunch of people playing ball, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. Once I see black people, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be all right. But for a minute there, when we got to the gate, I thought I thought I was in a movie, man. I thought I was in one of them horror movies where I'm like, I'm in the city, man. I'm just in the city. And why am I here with like trees But so that's my. It was for a minute I was scared, but then once I got there and I saw everybody, I was like, nah, this is black people here. Way more black people, man. So I'm like, I was good, but I thought I was scared for a minute.
Yeah, bro, that's what I was saying. The same thing too, because like I remember when I came too, because mine was a little different because they was doing the basketball recruiting at the time. So I can't remember his name, Darko or something. I can't remember
the coach.
Before Mr. Chester and all them too. So when I'm coming too, I had no idea the same way with you. Like I ain't even know that if you played for somebody that went somewhere that you actually lived there. So I know they were saying like, okay, it's a good school. They're trying to build this program. They're trying to make it like, like the elite school, like an Oak Hill or something like to where they, bringing a lot of people to the school. So I felt the same way too. And I went, and I think when I first saw like how diverse it was with people from other countries, that was a straight culture shock for me. You know what I mean? Like when we first pulled in the room, remember Mr. Rogers? The door?
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, like that whole experience when we first went in there, bro. Like I ain't even never. It was a culture shock in a good way, because, like to your point, we had Koreans in there, like black, white, Italian, you know what I'm saying, to a degree. Like it was well like blended in there, like throughout the whole dorm, and I felt like that was a shock to me from the beginning, man. Like even the first day, because I think that's when within that first week. Remember, that's when everybody started forming their little groups. That's when, you had Shaq and Kareem and all them. Then me, you, and Abdul, them in a little middle table. You remember?
I came like
you did
months later, so y'all already clicked up.
Yeah, but they're all saying like you had gravitated. You know what I'm saying? Within our little group. That's what I meant. Like not like when we first got there, but like when you came in, you know what I'm saying, blended with us too, because like it was that camaraderie, like you said, it was something new. But like once you latched on to everybody, and you know what I'm saying, like we had clicked up like that, like it was just like everything, you know what I'm saying, was cool from there. Like even at the time too, it's funny because I was thinking about some other shit that was funny too, bro. The fact that how long ago that was, to a degree, about all the stuff we didn't even have. Like at the time, I don't even think we even had laptops and all that to the degree that we do now. You had to turn your phone in if you did have a phone and stuff. It was like some of that shit. I was like,
dude, can you imagine if we had Amazon Prime in that bitch? They got Amazon Prime now. Like, you know how crazy that is?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Like I remember I used to, so I'll save up money, like I'll save up like $10, right? And I'll go to Walmart and then I'll get stuff. Now you telling me I'm on campus, I don't gotta leave. I can just order some stuff like snacks. I can use like whatever. Like it would be so different. Like I really want to, like when I go and I plan to do this, I'm gonna just talk to them and see like, man, how different is it? Because it's like they have so much more, right? Obviously the internet was there, but it was like the phones that they have, we have phones, we didn't have iPhones. I remember like,
man, we barely had like it. I think it was still a Razor or like a little sidekick or something.
Yeah,
we did not have no smartphones,
camera phones and all that, but it's not the same. You got an iPhone now. We used to hide our phones and stuff like that and call people all night. You can FaceTime people.
Yeah. Like, see, if we had that, it would have been a whole nother.
Imagine us FaceTiming girls from Raven Gap. The things we've been doing.
Definitely. I remember that for sure. But hey, hey, when we was going to the other schools, that was the one time, you know what I'm saying, you was to get a number or something like that and be like, hey, well, when I'm gonna see you again? I mean, at the next game, possibly.
Think about it. Think about what you can do. So now, right? Just let's go back in time. We ain't had to do that. I couldn't Uber a chick because Raven Gap wasn't that far.
You're right. Yeah, Raven got one. Yeah.
See abroad. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to do that. And I feel like the thing now too is like before, you know how you'd go home with somebody on the weekend, like if somebody, you know, because a lot of kids that were day students.
Open weekend. We had open weekend.
They don't do that no more. Like I couldn't literally be like, yo, I'm here on the weekend. You want to come visit? Boom, boom, boom. Take an Uber because Raven Gap, that would have been like a $10 Uber.
Yeah, that wasn't that far. You're right. Yeah,
I can Uber to Walmart. Right, I don't have to wait on the bus. I can, you know what I mean? Like, because we had senior privileges at some point. Like, I was like, man, like that's
crazy. Yeah,
boarding school now is gonna be different because you have so much more. Like, it don't even like feel like.
I think they automatically got laptops. That's the crazy thing. I think they got the laptops. I think you can keep your phone now. I think everything's so advanced now. Like at TFS, like it's a whole. Like it wouldn't even be the same. Like if they threw us in that era, like the kids today back in the era when we was at, man, it's a whole different culture shock. You're right, because that's why I kept saying we was in the student center a lot, remember? Because the internet wasn't really that crazy like that before, and your phones weren't really that advanced. So like it was more human interaction. You feel what I'm saying? Went to the student center, you can get a nacho, the food and all that. In the pool hall, remember they had all the TVs when the games and stuff came on. So to a degree, everybody was you know what I'm saying, at the Stone Center, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shouts out. Shouts out to Shamir too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Shamir, what's up, man? Shamir, you know, holla at Jeff. Holla at Jeff.
I remember that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like
the Bahamas, man. Go see her, man. You know,
them crushes, man. Yeah, and the prom and all that stuff. I remember that too. You was there, right? Yeah, I know you went to prom with us, eh?
Oh yeah. Remember that cheese bus?
That was a vibe too, man.
Man, I had that white suit. No, we had the junior prom where we where was that at?
It was set up. It was different ones. You're right. It was different. Yeah, it was like a little outside little Oasis thing. I remember too, man.
Yeah. But that one was because I got a picture with you and like Steve.
Did I have on the black and red? That's when I had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got that. I got the one where we the senior year prom where me and Axel and like I had the white suit on. Oh man, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a vibe. I remember.
Man, that's crazy.
I think I didn't go with nobody then, but I didn't go with nobody, but I like danced with Shamir or something like when we was there. Yeah, because remember at the time, you know, that was a little funny back then. Like as far as like, you know, with the boys dorm and the girls dorm, so like you could date somebody and all that, but remember to a degree, like it wasn't that type of vibe. So I think even when we went on the bus, I think even when we went on the bus at prom, we weren't even sitting together or something like that. But
right, you can't.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, unless you went on long trips. I don't know if you went any of them long trips. We went to Hilton Head. We went to Six Flags a few times.
Yeah, I did. I ain't go to the Hilton Head one, but I was on the long trip. I know
Six
exactly.
Flags, yeah. So those trips are fun. Like you go on, you click up, and then it was cool, man. It was really like one thing I wish we did more. I think there was a overseas trip that I couldn't afford to do. I don't know if they went to it.
They did have
I wanted to do that so bad. That would have been dope, you know.
Yeah.
That would being studying abroad, but like at the time I was like, man, I wish I could do this, man. I wish I had money to, you know.
But it was like it was carefree back then, because even on the Walmart trip, like you said, when we used to do that, like we didn't even have a lot of bread, but it seemed like you had so much, like the noodles, the chips, all that stuff. Hey man, my bad too for everybody that was in the dorms back then too, man. My bad for the noodle situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Still.
hey. So look, yeah, you want me to give you my Walmart order? I'm gonna tell you, I got it right now. I know it, man.
Yeah,
$10. I get a pack of honey buns, zebra.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember
the Korean noodles.
Yeah, hey, see, I knew you were going to say
Twizzlers, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was something else. I think damn, what was it? But that was pretty much it. That's all I got. $10. I get
that was it. That was enough. Yeah, that was enough.
That's all I needed.
Because you know what? It was really the snacks. It was really the snacks. Because to your point, you're right. We was always gonna eat. You know, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the dorm. You know what I'm saying? At the dining hall. But you're right. That little extra, like bread for the snacks, like in your little room, in the little closet, and all that. That's all we really needed. You feel what I'm saying? If I can't go to that, let me get that.
Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was it. Hawaiian
the
Punch,
Gatorades, all that.
Beaver Cakes, Honey Buns, Twizzlers, Skittles. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I needed, man.
And the Korean noodles, you're right, because remember the Koreans there, they used to have some of their stuff delivered, remember, like in packages and all that. And they had the Korean noodles and all that.
They'll get stuff shipped to them. Yeah,
that's what I had got. That's what we had got put onto that. I remember that for sure. Like when we had that, man, like
that seaweed.
That was just the seaweed chips. The seaweed chips. I remember that. Even the little outside court too. We had right there by the front. Right there when you came out the dorm. You know what I'm saying? The little outside hoop, the ball used to go down the hill and all that. Yeah.
I remember that. I gotta find them. I got a lot of videos of people dunking and stuff, you know. Oh man.
Was that the one with Pony in them? You talking about with Pony in them?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. Abdu sent them to me because you know they used to do dunk contests over there, right? And then we'll play like 21 and stuff over there.
Yeah, I remember.
We was always over there. Like I remember we had the bonfire one time. I got that picture with me, Axel, and Yanni. Oh man, so many memories.
Man, I remember Yanni too. That's what. Yeah, Yanni was in our circle too, man. It's like that's crazy coming back at the mix. So it was like 10 of us, man. You, Yanni, Abdul, Russell, Steven Adebayo, Austin, Tariq. I'm trying to think. It was a lot of us, man. Yellow Cool, man. Like I remember that. Y'all almost couldn't even fit at the middle table, though. Remember?
I know. Yeah.
Remember the middle table, like it was too many of us, so like everybody couldn't even fit. Man, that was crazy, man.
Nah, for real, man. I wonder where, like, sometimes I'm like, you know, Axe. I don't know where. I thought Axe was in Seattle, but I haven't really got it. You know, been able to like connect with him for a while. Hopefully, he's good. Willie, man.
Oh yeah, yo. I can't forget.
My nigga Willie loved him so much,
I can't forget, man. I'm good like God with an extra O, man. That was Willie, man.
Yeah, Willie loved him so much, man.
And all that, man. Yeah. Remember them freestyles in the room too, man?
Yeah, man. Willie's my guy, man. I don't know where he at, but I know Willie probably with a snow bunny right now, man.
I think he was. He was in a relationship the whole time. When we was there, man, I remember, because Willie was Yellow roommate.
Yeah, and then when we got out, he I used to follow him on Facebook. Then I kind of left Facebook for like a couple years, and I got back on and I switched my Facebook. But that was my guy, man. Willie, shout out Willie, man. Hopefully he sees this, man.
Nah, shout out to Willie for sure, man. That's what I said. Them is classic, bro. Like that them dorm adventures for real was lit, man. It was lit. Like the little when we had the water balloon fight, man, when we used to, you know what I'm saying, chase each other through the dorms and all that too. I remember with Dustin, Mr. Rodgers and them, Shaq, Kareem, Bruno. Remember Bruno?
Bruno, yo, I saw Bruno like Bruno somewhere, man. Like, yeah, when I was out in Atlanta, I saw him like at a night out. I'm like, man, like, no, I think he remembered me too, but yeah, man.
Yeah, it was him, Bruno, Mike, Bobby,
Mike Cross.
Yeah, Mike Cross, man. Yo, Bobby, dang, Ariel, man, Quintez, or RP to Quintez, man, for sure, man. Like, yeah, like that was a vibe, bro. Like the fact that I'm sitting here reminiscing with you about that too, that's crazy, man. Like we had an elite crew, man. I know it was a little different like that next year because you were still there too. So I don't know about the new people that came after some of us, but I gotta say, man, like everybody that I talked to a degree, that was the best. That was one of the best years. There was that 10th grade year, man.
No,
that
yeah,
everybody
that left the same clique. Everybody stayed the same. Obviously, like I was a senior, so I was hanging out with Yanni and them, Jimmy. But it was the same type of vibe, like it was more so like sports related, right? So you ran track, you did the track guys, right? We all ran track, but it was like the basketball team, obviously, they hang out together when we went to the weight room, but all of us was together, man. Like it was, man, that was probably one of the best years of my life, man. We were good at every sport, man. So like we were a lot of publicity always in the newspapers, man. We had like people coming in, like Jerron came in, like all these other
I remember. Oh yeah, Jerron.
Jerron Beal. Shout out Jerron Beal, my guy from CT.
Because his brother was Fado. His brother went to Centennial and all that. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
Lorenzo
that
had
game?
all
Remember that game where Shaq hit the game winner?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that
yeah,
game. That
yeah,
was
yeah,
one of the best
yeah,
nights
yeah.
of TFS, man. Oh man.
Shaq was nice, man, for sure, man. Definitely, yeah. Man, it's just
Shout out
classic,
Shaq
man.
too,
Those
man.
are
I want to
classic
see when I
memories,
jog
man.
off too, man. I gotta hit my
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Hey, shocking, man. Shocking, you know what I'm saying?
Father, man.
For
Shaq.
sure. Yeah, shout out to Shaq too, man. You know what I'm saying? Shocking eats, man. Definitely. You know what I mean? I gotta get back down.
But yeah, you
Down
know
there
what I'm thinking though?
by the
What I'm
time.
thinking is I'm gonna talk to them about this so we can maybe like if they want to pull up, I'm gonna get like a van or something, you know, like I'm gonna rent like a Splinter so we can all pull up for the for the event and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit up Abdul and let him know about it. I'm gonna talk to Shaq. Who else? Jimmy not gonna be there because he's leaving the country. But yeah, man, I'm gonna try to get a few people to come out with us, you know. If not, but I miss when I had that barbecue reunion, man. Everybody
Oh,
showed
that
up.
was fire. I remember that. That was fire, man. That's what I'm saying. At
I
your
didn't
house,
know
man.
people
That was
showed up.
fire.
I didn't know what was gonna show up.
They
I'm like,
did.
oh,
They
that
did.
was
Everybody did, man. Everybody. Reggie, Mike, all of them. Like Shaq, everybody showed up.
oh
I
man, that
think
was good.
Kareem was even there too. Like that was a
Yeah,
vibe,
yeah.
man.
The,
For real.
the
That was a
whole clique
vibe, bro.
showed up, man. I got the photos in
That
my
was a
phone right now.
vibe, bro. That was a vibe for real. Hey, you got to send me some of them, man. Definitely, man.
Nah, definitely I will, man. We used to
That,
watch.
that was a
That's
vibe,
when
man.
I had the podcast too, a little after
Yeah.
that. So we we
TSF, man. TSF, the podcast, man.
TSC, man. I might bring it back, man.
TSC, my bad. TSC, yeah.
What I'm
That was
trying
a
to do
vibe. I
right
remember.
now, I might bring it back. You're doing your thing right now, so you got it, man. But
Oh
I'm gonna
no, of course.
back.
Hey man, go ahead.
No, for
But
sure.
nah, definitely, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been a great episode. You feel me? Great conversation, man. Again, my boy's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, man, on the 27th. You know what I'm saying? April 27th. Make sure all the TFS alumni, make sure y'all there, man. You know what I'm saying? All the new athletes too as well. You know what I mean?
Pull up.
Even my boy who broke the record, you know what I'm saying, too. Make sure you there too so you can see greatness in the making, man. You know what I'm saying? My boy Kofi, aka Manny El Bendito, man.
Pull
You
up,
will be
Max. Pull up on the kid. Pull up on the kid, man. Max Harris. You better not pull up. You broke my record, pal. I don't want to see you, pal.
Oh man. For real,
Pull up
man.
on the kid. Nah, for real, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. It's love always, my brother. But yeah, I'm gonna see you soon. We're gonna do like logistic and all that, coordinate everything. But I'm excited about it.
Definitely, man.
I'm
We're
really
gonna be there,
excited to
man, for
bring my
sure, man.
wife over, show her like how we used to live and all that.
Yeah.
Now I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a huge like highlight of my life this year. So
We're gonna definitely be there, man. Again, man. Appreciate my boy, my brother, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Kofi coming in on the episode, man. You know what I'm saying? Major episode dropping this week, too, man. Y'all already know what it is. TFS alumni. Shouts out to all of y'all, too, man. It is your boy. Casual conversations across the nation. Cool vibes weekly, man. And we out of here, y'all.